What up, homies? Clash of Clans is a massively successful mobile world that basically wrote the guidebook on what a good mobile base building game looks like. I used to play CoC all the time in high school, but when Clash Royale came out, I ended up ditching it until last week or so. I decided to start at the beginning and build my way back up to the top, and along the way I've noted some important tips that I want to share with you and your pals for climbing through the beginning of the game as quickly as possible. This is going to be a guide that mostly focuses on getting through the first few town halls at breakneck speed, so if you're new to the game and you want to blast through the first 4 town halls at goblin speed, stay tuned. If you like seeing sick plays in your favorite games, you enjoy being given challenges by YouTube videos to improve your skills, and you want useful weekly tips to get good, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can tune in once a week. Quick update for my homies, starting next week I'll be moving my weekly premiere time from Wednesdays at 7 to Fridays at 9 PM Central Time. I think next week I'll be dropping a Disney Heroes video, and I mean come on, you wouldn't want to miss that, right? Right? Alright, so the first thing I want to share is that until you're around Town Hall 4, you should completely focus on stealing resources when you attack. Don't worry about attacking people for trophies, worry about getting loaded full of golden elixir. I suggest unlocking your giants ASAP and using them to distract defenses while your archers and barbarians loot the loot. Once you unlock goblins, use them with the giants for a much more efficient approach. Your trophy count at this level has very little meaning, and higher trophies will only mean stronger attackers coming after your base. Therefore, your best bet to grow your base at this stage is to basically become a raider. Going hand in hand with that, it is super important that you spend all of your resources as completely as you can. Imagine that your goal is to have 0 resources whenever you're offline. The importance of this is twofold. Firstly, you're going to be a less target to attackers, because there won't be anything to steal. Second, you'll be using your resources as efficiently as possible, which means quicker base growth. In the early game, you might find yourself running out of things to spend your elixir on before you run out of things to spend your gold on. So try to get around this issue once you unlock the lab by saving up enough elixir to upgrade a troop. Researching is a great way to spend elixir without tying up one of your builders. If you're finding these tips to be helpful in taking your gameplay to the next level, literally, go ahead and boop that like button so I can bask in the glow of validation. Thanks. While we're discussing what to spend your resources on, I suggest heavily prioritizing your army at this stage. You might feel inclined to upgrade your resource collecting buildings, but the fact is, almost all of your resources are going to come from attacking at this level, especially because of how quickly your upgrades will finish. At higher levels, there is a lot of time just spent waiting around for your builders to be freed up, but in the beginning stages, they finish their tasks quickly and you're always able to spend more. Therefore, attacking is far more efficient than waiting for resource collectors. You might find that upgrading your army camps has a higher elixir cost, but this is no problem for you, who will be able to rapidly build up your elixir once you realize that frequent attacks will fill your storages. Since your goal is to rapidly gain resources, but to never have resources, it's imperative that you're able to spend them as quickly as you gain them. This is why builder management is a huge deal. For starters, it is super important that you get as many builders as you can. The more builders you have on hand, the more things you can upgrade at a time, and the more resources you can spend at a time. My biggest suggestion to you for builders is to always keep 1 free so you can blast through your golden elixir on things that finish upgrading really quickly, and to use the rest of your builders for things that will take a little while. It's okay if you only have 1 builder free when you use this technique, because you'll be purchasing things that finish quickly enough for you to reuse the same builder over and over. For elixir, I found that clearing the biggest trees I could afford to remove was a good way to immediately deplete my storages with 1 builder, and for gold I would suggest clearing the rocks and then upgrading walls when you don't have enough gold to clear any more rocks. For those long upgrades, you're going to be glad if you get more builders. At early stages, I wouldn't even bother with having a shield on you at all, because that's just going to mean you're not attacking. Once you get to Town Hall 4, it will start being pretty useful to let your shield live out its full lifespan, because it gives you cover to upgrade your defenses. But until then, I would just keep attacking right through any shield you find yourself with. What I just mentioned about upgrading defenses is important though. If you do find yourself with a shield, you're in the perfect position to upgrade them. If you're going to be offline and you're going to be unshielded, I would definitely suggest not upgrading your defenses because they can't protect your base while upgrading. If you're online or shielded, you can't be attacked, which means there's no harm in being unprotected by those cannons and archer towers. It is definitely feasible to upgrade a defense or two while you're unshielded if you'll be online for the full upgrade, which isn't too hard to accomplish at this level because they finish upgrading pretty quickly. Alright, the last thing I want to discuss is how to build your base. Your main goal here is to protect what resources you weren't able to spend, and to do that you need to keep your defenses alive and protecting your storages for as long as possible. The best recommendation I can make to accomplish this goal is to put your defenses in the center and then build your walls around the defenses. If you have enough walls, I would give each individual defense a full ring of walls rather than just walling them into a group together. The next thing you're going to want to do is tuck your storages in as close to the defenses as possible. The defenses are your protectors, and the storages are your babies, so try to keep both alive. Next up is any other building other than your town hall. You're going to use the rest of your buildings to basically tank damage so that your defense can clean up the attack while the attacking troops are busy beating up your army camps and barracks. Finally, the town hall should be placed around the outer rim of your base. I know this sounds wild, but at this low level it is totally in your interest to let the attacker just snipe your town hall and leave. They won't get much of your resources, and they'll give you a shield if you need one. At later levels, it will become more important to you that you win the defense completely, and at this time it will make more sense to place the town hall in the center of the base with a defensive perimeter around it. However, this shouldn't even be a concern to you right now. Lastly, you're going to want to place any traps you might have around the outer rims of your base, right where you expect your attackers to place their troops. The final piece of the puzzle is any extra wall you might have available. You're going to use those walls to basically block off tiny partitions of the map by sprinkling them where enemies would be able to place their troops. These walls don't serve to block troops directly, but they do control where enemies can place their troops because they can't place troops within a tile or two of your walls. I haven't tested this yet, but the wall sprinkle might also be able to distract wall bombers and make them useless. Alright that's all I have for you today. Copy the link to this video and send it to someone you know that plays CoC so they can either A, get help because they're low level, or B, judge this video and tell you that yeah, the tips inside were super solid and you better subscribe to that Freedom Does Games character ASAP. If you made it this far, feel free to leave a comment looking for any clarifications or further tips. I answer all of my comments and you might even get pinned. Thanks for watching and I will see you next week.